We've read on the ransom notes before, the two that Savannah thought were real and the two that TMZ had spoken about. And I told you then that I believed that the ransom notes were real, meaning that they were sent and possibly sent by the kidnapper or kidnappers. But I didn't believe that they were real in the sense of what they were asking for. I thought it was just a diversion to get us, the public, off of who really was the kidnapper or kidnappers, and also why she was kidnapped. Miss Nancy. We're talking about Miss Nancy Guthrie. Hi, I'm Barbara from Tarot with Barbara, and we're going to get into these ransom notes, okay? So I got this information. I sat down and I wrote line by line what Briana, is that Whitney or Whitley? I wish I had checked her last name. But that reporter, the one that had interviewed Luke Daly, she has a channel called, I think, Crime Junkie, and she put out what the ransom notes said. So the first one said, "Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. Once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop-off location back in Tucson. If the payment is not received by the last deadline of Monday the 9th, this is the 9th of February, at 5 p.m., she will be killed. Your mother is aware of this and her life is in your hands. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiation. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you." And then she said in the note, that person proceeded to say two things that law enforcement said they didn't put public, which was the fact that Miss Nancy had a white smartwatch that was on the floor at the foot of her bed and that the floodlight in the backyard was broken. I think Ashley Banfield had already said something about the floodlight though, right? So that's the first note. So I read it to my daughter because, you know, I need people sometimes to spark questions in my brain. And I said, what do you think about this first one? I think for the second ransom note, I'll make a second video, okay? So she says, the question is, why 7 days? It feels very performative like the movie The Ring. I thought the "Hello, Savannah" sounded like "Hello, Clarice," right? And that's from the one, the Silence of the Lamb. And remember when Savannah did her first plea and they said the FBI helped them with the plea and it sounded like Silence of the Lamb? Talk to her. You'll see. She's a good person. Blah, blah, blah. Remember that? Okay, so what I didn't realize about the ransom note, though, is that it came right around the time when, I think, last chance was the 9th, the 9th of February. So I'm thinking that first ransom note came the 4th, Wednesday the 4th or Thursday the 5th of February, because one of the deadline was 5 p.m. on Thursday. And I think that was the 5th of February. And I didn't realize that that same day was when the sheriff did an interview, because he's only had 2 press conferences. The first one where it was late at night and it was on smartphones and you could barely hear him and monks had to clean it up so we could hear the sound, whatever. And then the second one where he talked about, drop her off, bring her back, no questions asked. Remember that? My brain is like stuck on that one. So that happened on the 5th day, the sheriff said that. So that's the same day that the deadline was for the first ransom. And then on the 9th, which was the Monday, was the second deadline. And they wanted different money. On the first deadline, they wanted, what, 5 million, I think? And then on the next one, they wanted 5 p.m. deadline, let me see, 4 million and then 6 million, I think. 4 million and 6 million in Bitcoin. And they said in USD. Nobody in America says in USD. That just seems to me like somebody foreign that wrote this ransom note, somebody not from here, not from America, right? And then return her back to Tucson, making you believe that she's in Mexico. Everybody ran with the Mexico idea. My thought was Rio Rico. That's outside of Tucson, right? Remember when Carlos Venezuelas was detained in Rio Rico, the first guy where the mother-in-law spoke for him? So they could have had her there, because guess what? On the 10th, which was the day after the 9th deadline, an 84-year-old woman was dropped off in Rio Rico and rescued in helicopter. You know I'm stuck on stupid that was Miss Nancy, right? So I asked my daughter what question to ask, and she says, why 7 days feels performative like the movie, right? So let's pull tarot first, and I'm gonna try to move it along because somebody scolded me and he said, I like you and you're bright, but you take too long to get to the cards. And I get it. I really do get it. That I don't feel like she scolded me. I'm not offended. I want to get to the point right away, but sometimes I do. My brain is scattered, you know? And so I'm going to start making shorts again, but instead of pulling shorts about the card of the day, I'll do some of those. I'm going to start doing shorter, just get to the thing, because I think shorts can be 3 minutes long. This is what we don't see coming, or what they don't see coming. So we're asking why 7 days. The lovers, partnership, harmony, choices, desire. The lovers is not just about partnership. This is about an intimate partnership. It could be a husband and wife. You know, it could be siblings. Just a really intimate partnership. So we're not asking who, we're asking why. The moon, illusion, intuition, mystery, premonitions. It's all an illusion. I've felt like it was an illusion. Judgment, awakening, reckoning, rebirth. Right here. All right. And then the High Priestess. Again, another mystery card. I feel like you can partner that with that. Okay? And then the Six of Cups. This is about nostalgia, going back to people's childhood, reminiscing. And then the Four of Cups. This is how that ransom note felt. Very apathetic. Like this person was so bored. It's kind of like, ah, crap, I have to write this ransom note, but we all know this is stupid because, you know, we're not really ransoming Nancy, right? So to answer the question why 7 days feels performative, that's the answer. It is very performative, and they just picked 7 days for the hell of picking 7 days. All right? So that's the first question answered. Let's look at the ransom note again to see if we have another question. All right, so the FBI put out the video of the porch perp on the 10th, and that's when that lady got dropped off in Rio Rico. I don't think I even made that connection, right? So the next question in here is why back to Tucson? Why did they say back to Tucson? Did they take Miss Nancy somewhere? I'm trying to think if we should do tarot or Lenormand. Did they take her somewhere? We're probably going to pull both. Let's pull 5. Let's cut the card. Did they take her away from Tucson? Which I believe they did. Remember I told you go into these questions, I already have an answer, and then the cards are my tools that tells me if my answer is right or wrong. And sometimes I'll go with what the cards say, and sometimes I'll go with my intuition. So I'm learning, like I said, I'm learning tarot. I'm 2 years in, and this is something that I enjoy doing, and I hope that you're enjoying it with me. So here's what we don't see coming. The Knight of Cups. Here comes Tommaso. You guys know why I gave this to Tommaso. Romantic, charming, imaginative, artistic. This is like the best thing that I love to drink. I don't drink coffee or tea. I drink this drink called Milo. And in the winter I heat it up, and in the summer I drink it cold. And this is Milo. It's not really hot chocolate. And I painstakingly put all those little marshmallows in there, and this just feels very romantic to me on a winter's night. So that's why I gave it to Tommaso. The 5 of Swords. Conflict, defeat, dishonor, competition. My daughter even asked, if somebody had said this before, and I don't believe it, but my daughter asked, do you think like Miss Nancy was gonna pass away anyways, that she had something really bad wrong with her, and that's why they decided, well, let's do it this way? Because some people even said it was like a what's the word they use, like assisted deletion, like it was an assisted deletion. I don't know, I don't get that. Temptation, indulgence, addiction, the devil. Who's that person who's addicted, right? 3 of Pentacles. It's 3 people for sure. 3 people for sure that would have to take her back to Tucson. I guess we're asking if they took her, where they took her, right? Or did they take her out of Tucson? Page of Wands, enthusiasm, exploration, free spirit. Let's look up this Page of Wands to get the extended view on it. The page. And I didn't do anything with the charms yesterday. I just got busy editing videos. Page of Wands, ideas, limitless potential, news, message, information. So the pages are always about message. And here we have another page, which is the page of cups, which is creative opportunities, news, message, curiosity, possibility. So were they just like seeing that they had a possibility of taking her? Let's pull the Norman really quickly, and we're gonna put the ship for traveling, because we asked if they took her out of Tucson, because they say back to Tucson. And everybody thinks it's far away, but it could have been closer, right? All right, so the first card is the letter, which is about a message. All these messengers came up with the pages, right? The sun, which is something that's going to be illuminated. And then the ship, the travel card that I put in the middle. And then the heart. In the second note, they did say something about her heart, but we're not going to jump to the second note in this video, okay? And then this is something that happened quickly. A quick cut. So, this still doesn't definitively tell me that they took her out of Tucson, but I believe they did because of them saying we're going to bring her back to Tucson. I just don't believe that it was far away. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it for right now. Okay, so what else do we want to ask? We want to ask something for the encore or the gush. I guess the part where it says, you will not be able to contact me from here on in. Why would the kidnappers not want to continue with communication? You know, like my daughter says, if I'm really kidnapping somebody's mom for ransom, I wouldn't even send a second note if she truly died. Why keep up the ruse, right? So why did he not want any more communication? I don't just look at that as a threat to Savannah saying, you know, don't contact me, don't call me, we'll call you. Just get out there and do what we want you to do. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. Okay, why would law enforcement not be able to help her? They had the whole force of the FBI behind them, right? Why? And why did Trump send the FBI right away? Trump shouldn't like Savannah. Savannah was doing interviews against him. All that's weird to me. And the Mark Kelly thing is not so weird to me right now, but maybe it will become weird later. But for me, it wasn't weird because I have contacts in high places, and if something happens, I'm contacting the people that I know. I'm friends with a city council man in my town, and when I want stuff to be done, I contact him. I don't go through the channels that you're supposed to go through. I contact him because he'll make a phone call and get it done. I know the mayor of my city. I'll contact her. You know, I'll contact anybody higher up that I know that can help me get things done. And Savannah probably is thinking, okay, especially if she didn't do it, right? She's probably thinking, oh my God, you know, my mom's missing. I'm going to contact Mark Kelly because I'm his friend. I know him. Maybe he can put some weight behind it so that FBI can move in quicker than they normally would, right? So I'm not putting too much light spotted on Mark Kelly. And it's not because he's a Democrat like I am. It's just because I know what I would do if I needed the help. So I guess the question we're going to ask, why did the kidnapper not want to have any more contact? This is for the gush, okay? Why did the kidnapper, because I want to tape a couple of shorts really quickly to put out there. So I'm kind of rushing through this. I'll probably tape 2 shorts and then go eat breakfast and then come back and tape part 2 of the ransom note, the second ransom note. So this is what we don't see coming, okay? Ace of Swords. Why did they want to cut off communication? New ideas, success, new beginnings. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. This teamwork thing again. How many of them had this lady? They were holding... I believe they were holding Miss Nancy in Rio Rico. That's my opinion. I'm going to put the banner down below to let you know that's my opinion. It's not facts. And I believe whoever had her... Because remember my first vision where I saw her in somebody's basement, and that kind of shocked me because I didn't think that Tucson had basements, but I've heard that they have bomb shelters. So she was at a table with the daisies for the tablecloth, the kind that you go buy at Walmart that comes on a reel and has the fuzzy backing. And it's there. The daisies in my vision were yellow, but the AI put them as white and the yellow background. A man came to the door, and he didn't look totally mean, but he didn't look pleasant like this man in the picture that I'm showing you. And he just says, please, you know, eat your food because you need to sustain your strength. Because they were like, we can't lose you, okay? Can't lose you. And then the 4 of Cups, this 4 of Cups came up again, apathy, boredom, disconnected. these people that did the kidnapping, they're not really attached to this kidnapping in the sense that we're gonna kidnap this old lady and get money. They were hired hands just to get her out of there and hold her, while all the rest of this crap was a ruse. I believe it was all a ruse. Judgment. They're afraid that they're gonna get busted. That's why we're like, don't contact us. 10 of Wands. They're burdened, overloaded, and stressed. These are the kidnappers I'm talking about. Quote unquote. Strength, courage, patience, and inner power. This is Miss Nancy. She had a lot of strength. All right, and I still don't know if Miss Nancy is alive or dead, but I believe she's alive, and I haven't read on that in a while. We'll see if I'll read on that in the near future. Okay, maybe if I read on that, I'll do it as a shorts. All right, guys. So that's it for this one. To the person that says keep the cards, I totally get it. All right. Please stay at the channel. Don't don't feel like you offended me. I just tend to yammer on. That's just my personality. I'm a whole Leo, and I'm a broadcast major, right? So that's why I tend to tell stories in between. I'm a storyteller too, and I do understand some people who need to just get to the cards. And as a matter of fact, I love that because that's why I'm making the channel, right? Because I want to learn to read the cards. But we're going to make some short, sweet ones as shorts, because I think the shorts can be 3 minutes long. And then we're going to still continue to make some long ones because I need the watched hours. In the beginning, when I only had 10 subscribers, it didn't matter. But now that I'm close, I'm halfway to the first leg of being monetized. Oh, let me not put this away because I want to do a short. I'm seeing that things are within my grasp. I mean, like over 300, like 305 subscribers, I think last time I checked, and 1,500 watched hours. I only need 3,000 watched hours to get to that first leg, and I need 500 subscribers to get to that first leg. And I know how hard it is to get to the second leg, especially when I'm not like putting myself out there. Like I'm not in other people's chats talking from this channel, but maybe I should do that. Like when I'm watching my other card readers, I should talk from this channel rather than my cooking page, you know. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.